Let's get ready to rumble!
Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel Valo Reviews. Now in this video, I'm going to compare the Poco X3 NFC with the phone that everyone loves, the current king of budget smartphone on this channel. Give it up for the Redmi Note 9S. The Redmi Note 9S comes with 6GB of RAM, 128GB of internal storage, and the current price of this smartphone is 106,000 Naira or $243. Moving over to the challenger, the Poco X3 NFC, it comes with 6GB of RAM, 128GB of internal storage, and brand new, the present cost of this smartphone is 130,000 Naira or $298 right here in Nigeria. The price difference between these two smartphones is 24,000 Naira or $55, so keep that in mind as we go along with this comparison. Now, inside the box of the Poco X3 NFC, you get a clear TPU case that gets dirty over time. I mean, just look at mine. I prefer the smoke tinted TPU case that comes with the Redmi Note 9S, so that's a plus for the Redmi Note 9S. Moving on to the charging brick, the Poco X3 NFC redeems itself as it comes with a 33W fast charger, while the Redmi Note 9S comes with a 22.5W fast charger. The Redmi Note 9S is capable of doing a maximum of 18W fast charging, so it can fully utilize the 22.5W fast charger that it comes with it. Poco X3 NFC on the other hand can use the entire 33W from the charger, making charging fast. How fast? Well, after 15 minutes of charging the Poco X3 NFC, the battery level got to 37%, while the Redmi Note 9S battery is at 18%. At the 30 minutes mark, the Poco X3 NFC's battery is at 68%, while the Redmi Note 9S battery is at 37%. 45 minutes down the line, Poco X3 NFC is at 90%, while the Redmi Note 9S battery is at 54%. At this point, with the Poco X3 NFC at 90%, you can go about your day and not worry about charging your smartphone as it will last you the entire day. I can't say the same for the Redmi Note 9S at 54%. At the 1 hour mark, the Poco X3 NFC is at 99%, while the Redmi Note 9S is at 72%. 5 minutes later, Poco X3 NFC is fully charged, while the Redmi Note 9S is at 78%. It took the Redmi Note 9S 1 hour 57 minutes to charge from 0 to 100%, while the Poco X3 NFC did it in 1 hour and 5 minutes. Guys, this is why you need fast chargers in your life. For the build quality, the front of both smartphones is protected with Corning Gorilla Glass 5. Moving to the rear, the Poco X3 NFC has a plastic rear, while the Redmi Note 9S rear is made from glass. The rear is protected with Corning Gorilla Glass 5 and my take is white glass. I mean, it looks good, it looks premium, but it doesn't serve any purpose. The Redmi Note 9S doesn't support wireless charging, so why does it have glass at the rear? And when it drops, it will most likely crack because glass is glass and glass will break no matter how hard it is. I understand why Xiaomi used glass at the rear of this smartphone, and that's to make it look premium like flagship devices, but for a budget smartphone we don't need glass at the rear, and that's why I'll pick the Poco X3 NFC as the more durable smartphone. For the external features, both smartphones have an IR blaster which I love and still use. Both smartphones have a noise cancelling microphone at the top, both have a USB Type-C port, a 3.5mm audio jack, dual SIM tray and a memory card slot. What the Poco X3 NFC has that the Redmi Note 9S doesn't is the dual stereo speakers. I was expecting the dual stereo speakers on the Poco X3 NFC to be louder compared with the single speaker on the Redmi Note 9S, but that's not the case. They sound almost identical to my ears. Another thing I like is the vibration you feel at the rear of the smartphone when you increase the volume. It makes what you're watching or listening to come alive. You do get a bit of vibration on the Redmi Note 9S when you hold the frame of the smartphone, but it's nothing compared to the Poco X3 NFC. Some people like it, some people don't. Some YouTubers associate the vibration with poor build quality, but that's nonsense if you ask me. The Xiaomi Mi 11 has this feature, so it's not a design flaw, it's intentional. So for the build quality and external features, Poco X3 NFC is the winner. The display on both smartphones is good. They both come with a 6.67 6.7-inch IPS LCD panel with a resolution of 1080p by 2400 pixels. They both support HDR10 and they both are bright at 450 nits. The Poco X3 NFC does have a bit of magenta to it. Between these two, I'll pick the display of the Poco X3 NFC as the winner, as it looks slightly, and I mean slightly better. Now, where the display of the Poco X3 NFC surmounts the Redmi Note 9S is in the refresh rate. You can switch between 60Hz or 120Hz. You can see the difference, but is it a big deal? Well, no, not to me. But it's cool that the Poco X3 NFC has the feature. Also, a minor observation is the camera punch hole on the Poco X3 NFC is smaller compared with the Redmi Note 9S. So for the display, the Poco X3 NFC wins. Now for performance, well, Snapdragon 720G versus Snapdragon 732G. Which one is better? Well, both processors are gaming chipset with an 8nm fabrication process, so they are both fast. Starting with the Antutu benchmark test, this is the result I got when I ran the test. And for the Geekbench test, the Redmi Note 9S gets higher single and multi-core scores. Let's start off with launching PUBG and see which smartphone comes out on top. I would like to point out that launching applications at the same time doesn't really show which smartphone is the faster one, at least not all the time. I can launch PUBG 10 times and would have different winners, so it doesn't really show which processor is faster. Downscaling a 4K clip to 1080p using InShot on both smartphones, the result is almost the same. The Poco X3 NFC won, but the difference was only 3 seconds. So for performance, the Snapdragon 732G processor is faster, but slightly, and I mean slightly faster. Now moving on to the battery department, Poco X3 NFC has a 5160 mAh battery, while the Redmi Note 9S comes with a 5020 mAh battery. There's a difference of 140 mAh between these two smartphones. With the Poco X3 NFC on 60Hz refresh rate, you can get the same screen on time with the Redmi Note 9S, but when you set the screen to 120Hz refresh rate, the battery drains faster. For me, when I use the Poco X3 NFC, I leave the refresh rate at 60Hz because I'm a power user and I don't fancy carrying a charger around. So for the battery department, Poco X3 NFC wins as it has the slightly bigger battery and it comes with a 32W fast charger. Poco X3 NFC's front camera has more megapixels, but the difference isn't much. Pictures from the Poco X3 NFC looks better, but not by much to my eyes. Hello guys, so here's a video from the front-facing camera of both smartphones. They both shoot in 1080p, 30 frames per second, and there's no image stabilization. So what do you guys think? Which one is better, Poco X3 NFC or the Redmi Note 9S? Let me know in the comment section below. It looks like the Poco X3 has the edge. Well, I don't know. What do you guys think? My skin tone looks better on the Poco X3 NFC. Look at this real reddish on the Redmi Note 9S. But let me know which one you guys prefer in the comment section below. For the rear cameras, Poco X3 NFC comes with a 64 megapixel main camera, a 13 megapixel ultra wide camera, a 2 megapixel macro camera, and a 2 megapixel depth camera. Switching to the Redmi Note 9S, it comes with a 48 megapixel main camera, a 8 megapixel ultra wide camera, 5 megapixel macro camera, and a 2 megapixel depth camera. Between these two smartphones, I honestly can't see a major difference. Photo quality coming out from both smartphones is impressive. For the ultra wide camera, Poco X3 NFC takes better looking pictures. Macro shots are better on the Redmi Note 9S, and for portraits, they look identical to me. And for night pictures, Poco X3 NFC takes better pictures. And now we switch to the rear camera. Both smartphones are shooting in 4K 30 frames per second. And looking at Brownie, which one looks better, Poco X3 NFC or the Redmi Note 9S? So which one do you guys prefer, Poco X3 NFC or the Redmi Note 9S? For the camera comparison, I will have to give it to the Poco X3 NFC for the slightly, and I mean slightly better front-facing camera, and the rear camera takes better pictures at night. Macro shots are better on the Redmi Note 9S, but how many of us take macro pictures? So the winner of this camera comparison is the Poco X3 NFC. Man, that was tough. Anyways, we have a new king of budget smartphones on this channel, the Poco X3 NFC. Long live the king. Thank you for watching till the end. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and subscribe to this channel, Valor Reviews, and I'll see you guys soon with another comparison video. Valor, signing out.